Welcome to this month's marketing tip. This month and for the next few months, we're actually going to go ahead and highlight some different ways to utilize Excel. Excel is just such a robust program and is so underutilized because people just don't know that some of the things are there. For this month's exercise, you can see I went ahead and made up some names, got really creative here with John Smith, Maggie Marketing, Joan Jest, and Samuel L. Jackson. I made up some emails to go along with these names and then some addresses to show you the different ways we can use Excel's text to column feature. You'll find it on the data page or the data tab. And then over here it says text to columns. You will not find this if you are on the web version of Excel. You need to be on the desktop version. So as it says, it will split a single column of text into multiple columns. You can choose how to split it up, fix width, split at a comma, period, or other character, including spaces. And we're going to do this a couple different ways. One of the most important things to do is going to be to insert some columns so that it doesn't overwrite the data that's next to it. For this example, just to show you how that works, we're going to go ahead and select text to columns. We're going to pick delimited. And then I've already been practicing this, so I apologize. Normally, it will just show like this, and it says the tab. We're going to go ahead and add this space. Now, what it's going to do, and I'll show you again, so this didn't separate anything, but as soon as I add the space, it will go ahead and separate wherever there's a space. The reason I did Samuel L. Jackson was because I wanted you to see what happens if there's more than just a first name and a last name. And it's easy to fix once you do it, but you're going to need to make sure that it has enough room to make these three columns. You can hit next, and again, where's the destination, so you could move it different places. I'm going to go ahead and hit finish, and then it gives me an error message that says there's data already here. Do you want to replace it? Just to show you what it does, we're going to go ahead and replace it and see all of our data is gone. So let's go ahead and do Control Z, which is one of my favorite things to do, which is undo. Again, a nice little keyboard shortcut there. And then we go ahead and insert some columns. I went ahead and inserted more columns than we needed just to be safe, because sometimes if you have 6, 7, 8,000 lines of information, you won't be able to just scan through them to see how much it's taking up. And if Samuel L. Jackson was in line 5,724, we wouldn't really be able to see it that way. So we're going to go ahead and hit text to columns, and in this saved exercise, it remembers that it's delimited. Now let's go ahead and hit next. And again, it's also going to remember that it's got the space. And then let's go ahead and hit finish. And now you can see that it went ahead and separated everything out. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I will do a sort to find out where all the data is. So you can go ahead, and we'll go ahead and I'll just highlight all of this. And we can do a data sort, and I sort usually by this third or fourth column. So we can sort by C, and then D, and then E. So what you'll get is you'll find out if there's any other information in there. So you can find that Samuel L. Jackson did take that third row. So let's go ahead and we're going to cut this and paste it over here. And now this is really first name and last name. And we'll just do first and last. And now since I've gone ahead and done it, I can go ahead and delete these extra columns if I want. And now I have first and last name separated and not in the same file. So if for some reason you wanted to go ahead and separate URLs or domains from an email address, you can do that too. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go again and insert way more columns than I need just to be safe. And we're going to highlight this column, and we're going to do text to columns again. For this, we're going to go ahead and add an other, and we're going to do the @ sign. So now in the preview screen, you can see that it gets rid of the @ sign and it goes ahead and just gives us the domain separated from the actual username of the email. So let's go ahead and just hit finish. And now you can see how it's separated. When this would come in handy would be if you wanted to sort and find out certain people from certain companies, or you know, how many people do we have on this list from company XYZ, or from how many people in our email list have Gmail addresses versus AT&T email addresses, or whatever have you. But it's a great tool and a great way to do things. Now we'll go ahead and we'll delete these columns again. And now we're going to play around with the fixed width. So if I do fixed width here, it will let me create break lines anywhere I want. I can also remove them by double clicking on them. So let's remove these since I got a little click happy. And it'll also let me go ahead and drag these wherever I want to. So as you can see here, it went ahead and let me do the 4 spaces. Now, if I wanted to try and separate the street name from street, you can see I can't do it because it doesn't line up. And you'll see actually what happens with address when we actually say go. So let's go ahead and say, well, you can do next and then finish on this. And now I've actually separated the number and the actual street address. So if you wanted to sort people by street address, or if you had the full address and you wanted to separate out their zip code or city, state, zip code, you can do all of that really here and easily using text to columns. And you can separate on anything. Like I separated here on the @ sign. If you've got, you know, Sioux Falls, South Dakota with a comma in between Sioux Falls and South Dakota, you don't need to do it with a space. You can actually do it with the comma delimiter. So let's go ahead and say that this is Sioux Falls. I don't know actually how to spell Sioux Falls. And I'm only I'm making up this because it's got spaces and a comma. So let's go ahead and do text to columns for this. We're going to go back to delimited and not fixed width. We don't want it to be done with the space, but we want it to go and separate on the comma. So now we've gone ahead and separated city and state even by using this. So just a really great tool. I hope you find it useful and look forward to sharing another tip with you next month. Thanks and have a great day.